Biden needs a teleprompter to remember the name of his wife.
Jeremiah, I'm reading chat right now. We're
Yeah.
someone named Marty wants you to talk about the mob.
The mob?
Yeah.
I don't live that life anymore. I don't know much about it.
You don't live that life anymore. What are you trying to tell us, Jeremiah?
You was in the mob? You really?
I'm just
You
trying
were
to.
mob.
I worked for a bad employer who was in that life, and he dragged
Okay.
a bunch of his employees into it. I didn't want to be dragged into it. I had a bad.
No, I don't blame him.
Was this in Missouri? So was this the Missouri mob?
Let's put it this way. All I know is what I knew. In other words, the crew that I was with, I'm lucky if I knew anyone's last name. It was a meth lab. I'd never been there, never visited. I don't know. He was based out of OKC. The guy that was running the whole thing was based out of Oklahoma City. All I know is what the prosecutors, because when the bust happened, it happened, and the whole thing came down.
Did you get like subpoenaed?
I had to do community service. I did 2 years of community service.
Oh, okay. So you got more than subpoenaed. You got charged with something.
Yeah, you got charged.
I don't know anything because everything was compartmentalized. Like the military. I mean, you only knew was it.
Yeah, but like you could. Yeah, but like.
Oh yeah, I know.
What I'm getting at is you were involved in something though that got you charged, where you had to do community service. So you only knew what you were involved in.
Well, we would use senior citizens to haul our packages to various cities on the Greyhound bus, like 80-year-old senior women. No one ever questions grandma.
Yeah, kind of like the movie The Mule with Clint Eastwood.
Some 80-year-old woman, she'll deliver a package for us to LA or whatever. No one questions grandma. There were no drug-sniffing dogs. It was shipped out of Greyhound, not an airport. Everyone's focused on the airport. What do you know about the meth labs in Lawrence County, Missouri? I said, I don't know anything. Never been there. Saw anything. I never saw anything. I was in charge of one little thing. That was it.
And then whenever the bust happened, you got wrapped up in it, and then you got charged somehow.
I was just an employee. I was an employee, but the guy who owned the place I was working at, he was in that life. We're just minimum wage employees. We do what we're told. I don't know anything. I did what I was told, paid to do.
And then you got
beyond that.
Charged.
I don't know anything.
Like the legal system must have been pretty corrupt back then, because like I'm having a hard time seeing what you could even be charged with, really.
Well,
you could get
because I was recruiting people to take the package and put it in their luggage and take it with them. That's what I was charged with. I was a recruiter. I was responsible helping to.
What's that? What's that charge on paper?
Ladies, no one questions grandma. You don't think about it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's that rabbit hole goes really deep, and I don't think a lot of people realize it. I can't believe you actually got a charge. So I'm trying to think of what that charge would be, just like on paper, like on your criminal record, that they would like tell you.
It's 20 years past. The guy up the ladder, he's the one that got all the heavy charges. If you went to work someplace, what if you had a bad employer and said, well, you gotta earn a paycheck to feed your family? What are you gonna do? You're gonna feed your family. You're gonna do what it takes, or you'll be fired. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Even though you're not in that life, he can drag you into it indirectly. And you only know what you're told. You don't know anything. Because the way the guy set it up, He's ex-military. He set it up, and everything is compartmentalized, just like the military. So nobody knew anything. Nobody knows anything. That's all I know. It was over 20 years ago. That's a long time ago.
Mob? Is it Italian mob? Because now you have.
I don't know.
Romanians.
I don't know who all the people was. They know the small crew that I was with. One guy was colored. Another guy, a couple of them were Asians.
So, but you were doing this all in like Missouri?
Oh yeah, we get senior citizens to deliver the packages for us because nobody questions them.
That makes perfect sense. I wouldn't suspect either, having some old lady, like some sweet old lady carrying the package down the road. I was just more interested in like, and you having to do like community service or something like that. Cause it seems like then like you got off really easy. Cause I was trying to look up charges. Cause you said you're in Missouri. I know Missouri, you can just look shit up. And the only thing I can find, you said it was like 20 years ago. The only thing I can find is just like you breach a contract.
Done. It's been buried under the carpet.
Okay, so you got taken off.
Yeah.
I know you got lucky with none of that being on like your record though, because man, that could any kind of mob affiliation like that could just ruin, especially back then when the mob was more prominent than it is now.
They never referred to themselves that way. I mean, back in the 90s, crystal meth was the drug of choice. There were meth labs everywhere. People were cooking it.
The mob only really had their hands dipped in to like Kansas City and St. Louis and possibly a little bit in Springfield, but it would have been an off-reaching branch.
The guy that owned the place I was at, he's based out of OKC. He may be mob tied. That's it. That's all I know. Peon on the bottom. That's why nothing happened. It's the big guys on top. They're the ones who get busted. Us little guys, nothing happens to us.
You doing it before you kind of realized what was going on?
Oh, I knew what was going on
From the get-go. You knew.
Stupid. I never saw anything. I can't prove anything, but I kind of knew that something was up. Something
Okay.
2 and 2 are not adding up here.
You know what? Okay, everything's clicking with me now. I see how they did it. Whenever they like charge you, because it looks like they just downgraded it to like instead of like a RICO charge, because RICO charges were really popular back then too. Especially when you hit all levels of organized crime, they'll tend to put the RICO on anybody involved in order to get them to start talking. Then they start dropping the charges one by one till you're left with like the top guy, you know. So I wonder instead of like a RICO charge, they just like reduced it down to like an adult abuse without stalking.
So they gave me 2 years community service. What they assigned me was not pretty. It was hell on earth.
What'd you do for your community service?
2 years at Foster's.
Foster's? What's Foster's? Like a foster care, or is that like a business?
Yeah,
like
Foster's nursing home. It's hell on earth.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to be there.
How many hours you had to get in? Was 2 whole years?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of hours. That's like thousands of hours you have to put in.
Well,
then.
It's not thousands of hours. 2 years. It's like a 40-hour work week for 2 years.
So they made you do that?
Yep.
Really? I've never heard of that before.
Why am I talking about it?
Yeah, it makes sense. You never had to like. You said they were transporting meth, right?
That was the drug of choice out of Lawrence County, Missouri. Yes.
Did you ever partake?
No.
Good for you. That's a hard environment to not sometimes.
I mean, what if you work for a bad employer? What would you do?
How much are they paying me?
What if your employer goes off? You know, the ball goes downhill.
Yes. Am I able to feed my family and live a nice life? Because if I had that and I never had that before in my life, then I'd probably be more inclined.
You might be able to for a couple of years until.
That's how it's all. People who join in things like that, they're either born into it or they're a victim of circumstance. You know.
Oh, I was definitely a victim. I was not born. I'm not Italian. I wasn't born into it. That's all I know about the guy. I don't know his name. I don't know anything. Everything was compartmentalized. Nobody knew anything. He didn't want anybody knowing who each other was. The guy that ran it was ex-military. That's all I know about him. And he ran it that
You
way.
said it was 20-something years ago, too. I'm trying to think. Huh. That's great. You just must have been on the tail end of that, because it looks like, from what I'm seeing here, the last remaining mob that was running Oklahoma City was defunct in 2004.
Well, this guy may not even be mafia related. I don't know anything about the guy. Except he was living in Oklahoma City. That's where he lived. Beyond that, I know nothing about him. Don't know his name. Don't know anything. Everything's compartmentalized. You know nothing. It's like if you were to work at Area 51. What do you know? Only what you're told. I mean, he still got busted.
Yeah, but I feel like when it comes to stuff like that, it's not if, it's when, With how technology is adapted over time, police's job are getting a lot easier. It's harder. Everybody has cameras on their front doors now.
He had a chain of restaurants, all I know about him, and he used that as his front.
Was it Wendy's?
No.
Oh.
I don't know any.
And then were you working at, what was the business? What was the front? Was it a restaurant too? Or
Yeah, I worked in a restaurant. Yeah, I worked in a cafeteria there. I can't tell you anything because I don't know anything. But I can tell you this, it's nothing like you see on The Sopranos. If you were running an organization, you'd make sure your employees knew as little as possible. If you had a rat, what damage could they do? He might know one or two people, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? If somebody ratted you, he's not hurting the whole organization. Learned that during the Second World War. What happens if you get caught by the Gestapo? If you're part of an underground, who are you hurting? Two people. But you don't know anything beyond what you're told. So he learned that skill set somewhere. I don't know anything. How can I tell?
Where were you, Dollar?
Yeah,
This man doesn't even know what he was charged with. He doesn't know anything.
It happened so long ago. It's. I don't know why I'm talking about this. I don't want to talk about this. Let's move on.
It's good. It's good conversation.
Oh no!
It's life experience. It's perspective. You have a different perspective on things.
I don't get anything because I don't know anything. I was just a peon. Just a peon. A guy at the bottom of the totem.
Yeah, no, I got it.
If you want to talk mobs,
All he knew, he
go talk to Michael Francis. He's got a real colorful story.
Who's that?
I'm getting an echo.
I think it's from Jay.
If you want to hear mob stories, talk to Michael Francis. He'll give you all kinds of mob stories. No, he's an ex-mob boss. Now he was mentioned in the movie Goodfellas. He got famous. He can tell you everything you want to know.
Okay, kind of like a John Gotti.
Yes.
Mob boss, but in the open.
Yes. Yeah. I did a lot of interesting things with my life, but nobody asked me about my military career either.
What's your military career? I'll ask you. I'll bite.
I didn't do anything special there either.
Well,
There's nothing to talk about there either.
what?
I mean, I'm not a war hero. I'm nobody's hero. I just had a job like everybody
You just
else.
wanted to talk about this. You just said nobody asked me about my military career.
I was in the
You're like,
military.
fuck, it's nothing. It's nothing. Not me. Not me.
Nothing to talk about because I didn't do anything.
Stop shooting this shit with him.
Tom Cruise is all for the college money, Air Force.
College money, Air Force. What'd you get on your hazmat?
What?
What'd you get on your hazmat?
I gotta go look it up because I don't have all that stuff. What?
I said you said you. Oh, I thought you were about to pull out the.
No, I gotta go digging around for it.
Gotcha.
I'm old. I don't remember much of anything.
What year were you in the military?
From 85 to 95.
85. So you did a 10-year.
10-year.
So you have full, like, you still have your full veteran.
No, you gotta put in another 20. I mean, I do get some veterans benefits. Yes, I do. Yes.
Well, no, but like to get like the long-term benefits, especially with like the U.S. Army, you just need to sign a 6-year contract. So was that not the same back then?
No, I did sign a 6-year contract after they paid for my college education.
Okay. Then you signed 4
they
more
paid
years
for college
later.
and then decided, well, now that you graduated
you did 10
college,
years total.
you owe us 6 years. Like they
Okay.
wanted their money back.
Really? When? Huh.
You see, they sent me to college.
Did you get injured or anything early on in like training?
No, they paid for college education.
Out as in the military. What was?
I was a lieutenant.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, just a puny little lieutenant. Amount to anything. Didn't do shit.
Did you gain medals or anything just from service?
I'm not a hero. I'm nobody.
They didn't give you a uniform or anything?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Because like 6 years is there would be a long time. So you had to have some kind of job or MOS or.
I did air traffic control.
Okay.
The guy that planes crashing into each other.
Were you in Washington, D.C.?
Hell no.
I gotcha. Did after the military? Because that's a pretty hard field to get into.
No, I wouldn't wish that job on anybody. When my time was up, I came home. I left.
Where were you?
No, I did never experience. I know what a blanket party is. No. I did not participate in one, nor was I a victim of one. Oh, I know what it is. You know what happened to? Do you know what happened to in the movie Forrest Gump? You know what a blanket party is, right?
Is that where Jenny gets AIDS?
No.
Do you have what kind of uniforms were they doing in the 90s? How has it changed from like then to now?
They didn't. Back
they didn't
then,
have uniforms?
Still had dress blues.
So a uniform that they give you still?
Doesn't fit me anymore, but they still had dress blues. Yes.
Okay.
Today it's different. Everybody wears the same thing.
We want to see a picture of you in your uniform, man. Yeah.
My sister don't have hers either.
No,
she was in the Navy in Desert Storm. Didn't have these. These did not exist. I'm just saying we didn't have phones.
Yeah. No, I think what they're getting at though is like because they take your picture and give it to you in the military, like every person, like everybody gets a headshot.
If she was in the Navy, right? I tried to get some of her pictures because she served in Desert Storm. Now she's the hero.
I mean, I was in the Navy. I can go right
pictures
and
of
get
her.
my picture.
We can't dig up a picture. None. A uniform somewhere. In a box somewhere. It's like I wish I had my little derby car from the Cub Scouts. That's buried somewhere. I wish I had my Aquila rocket from the Cub Scouts. That's buried somewhere. My sister, she was right? We have photographs of her and her. What photographs we had were lost. So when they're gone, they're gone. It's like,
oh, man. Yeah, that would have been your unit picture in the Air Force, man.
I
I
have
can go and get my Navy.
Oh, you're in the Navy, Gordo?
Yeah. I mean, I
here's
can
the-
get
Oh,
my
cool.
Navy. I can get my Navy picture like back
I don't
in
have
1
any
minute.
military stuff.
Years. When did you serve?
Not very long. I dig some out because I got pictures of me on my training course. I've got all them. I've got hundreds of them.
Okay.
I've got a whole album of them.
What
That's how-
So what you see? You just did. You said you just did like a short stint. Is what?
Yeah. So petty officer. So that's like, was it E5 in the US system? Something
Repeat
like
that.
that. Was it E5 in the US?
So they have like a classification. So you have like an E2,
Yeah.
E3, A4, A5.
I finished as a petty officer, but I joined the ranks like everyone else. And I was motivated to go up. So I was
Do you
motivated.
do you get good benefits that kind of follow you the rest of your life, or do you have to like serve longer to earn that? Because I'm not familiar with your guys' like healthcare system
Yeah.
much either.
I mean, it's declined now. They've only just introduced the UK Veterans Card now in the last couple of years. But you get treated in the health system. But there was a military. I was motivated by the accommodation. So that's why I went up. Station. I want to be in the building there when they got tables, like the equivalent of the sergeant's mess when they got knives and forks on the tables. I want to be over there. Yeah. So I was motivated to get over there, but I reached my ceiling. I just couldn't get any higher than that.
Okay.
I wanted to become an officer, but they just keep reaching the carrot out to you, and you're thinking, do I sign up for another 3 years, 4 years?
Were you able to do like the entire time you were in?
Because UK regiments like the Grenadier Guards, Blues and Royals, Lifeguards are stuck up. So
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I'm sorry. I haven't been.
I don't totally.
In the conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of getting tired. I'm hungry.
So
You think I have any pictures from when I'm a kid? Like how many times I've moved?
you see that?
If I do,
Yeah.
they're up in the hours. I can understand that.
You can't see that on the background. I try and change the
I-
background.
I'm getting flickers of it. I gotta see what it is.
Show me proof you want. I'm not going to call
See?
somebody a liar that's telling his story.
That's your oath
Okay.
of allegiance. That's your certificate.
And that's you get that
And that's,
upon
yeah.
entering the military or leaving the military.
Sorry?
Do you get that upon
That's the
entering
UK.
the military or leaving the military?
You just read. Everyone's rebounding now. Show you that picture again.
I have not paid any attention to the chat over here.
It just seems like there's a lot of nonsense going on in there. I just have
Picture again.
I've just been enjoying the good conversations.
It got a little wild in here.
What happened?
Yeah.
But there is a part of my history I will
It's
share.
not showing up on the background. Just here.
I'm trying to dig some photos up everywhere I can.
Is that just like someone you know in the military, or is that someone of like significance? that, like,
Someone
a
I
lot of people
once
know?
knew, and I had this poster ministry going after the 9/11 towers fell. I did a whole video on it.
Those are about the same time you're in the military.
No, this is long past. This is after the fall of the Twin Towers, and I just wanted to give back to my country.
So like 2001. Past though, because you said you're in the military. What, like the 90s?
Well, I got all my paperwork.
Yeah.
Paperwork I have.
Yeah, just go and get it, man.
I tried to find that's my nephew.
Are these the same guys? Or none of these are you, right? This is all your nephew?
No, this is my nephew.
Okay.
Kyle was in the military. That's what I'm showing you.
Gotcha. What branch is he in?
Army.
Okay, I couldn't tell. It's dark green uniforms, and sometimes I want to say that's Marines. But
no, I think it's
right on. He seems like a stellar guy.
Yeah. This is my grandfather here.
Or what?
According
What
to my
war?
dad, he was a gunner. He was a gunner on this bomber.
So is this
he
World
had
War
32
II?
missions in 2 years. But as far as photographs, this is about it. This picture here, and one or two others, and that's it. That's all we have. You got to keep in mind, we didn't have smartphones back in the day.
Yeah, nor did I. So you got an old pass, you got a picture.
That is crazy. Like, because
Yeah.
I know how it is to lose physical media because you don't have it as a digital backup anymore. I get that completely. It's crazy that you could save like your grandpa's picture.
I have all my contracts. I think. Oh no. Yeah, I should still have them. It's in a black thing. Read after 30 years. That's all I got left.
You said you can't read after 30 years. Is that what you said?
Well, you can read it, but the ink.
Anyone can go.
Oh, everything's starting to fade.
Tried to get my sister Pam. Said, Pam, I need a picture of you in your uniform when you're in Desert Storm. She said, Jeremiah, I had them. My ex-husband had them, and they're gone. So, but now everybody says, well, where's all your photographs? Well, we didn't have smartphones back then.
Doesn't matter.
Photographs and sharing everything on social media, we don't think anything about it. That there was another generation. If you don't keep your physical media, if they get lost in a fire or in a move, or you get married and divorced, those pictures are long gone. Those memories are long gone.
If I'm missing a picture, like a group picture, a whole platoon picture, I can just call up the unit and they'll just send one to me. No problem. They're all on the roll. They're all on the.
Oh, Jeremiah, did you turn camera off?
Did I?
Yeah, it's black on my screen. Is it black for you guys too?
Oh, you know what? The battery went out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it uses a rechargeable camera.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
hey, I found a governmental like archive website that can save like everybody who served. I'm gonna see if I can find you on this. See if you've been archived. I don't know your last name.
No, I'm not giving that out. How did I get on this conversation anyway? I did a lot of interesting things with my life, but nobody asked me about my military career either.
What's your military career? I'll ask you. I'll bite.
I didn't do anything special there either.
Well,
there's nothing to talk about there either. So much.
Where Bordeaux was talking about like pulling up like military photos.
My sister Pam, she doesn't have her pictures either, but she's got her documents. She's got that. If my channel went to all politics, I'd have 1 million subscribers.
That's kind of the goal, ain't it?
No.
You don't want to get that big?
No.
Where do you want to get at? Like where's like a happy medium for you?
About 10,000.
10,000?
Stay under the radar.
To like make good money on 10,000, or is that like
I have a
I don't know. I don't know how YouTube's like ad sponsorship program.
Well,
works.
see, I'm almost 60, so I have an IRA. I can work a part-time job, make
Okay.
a thousand or so, a couple thousand a month on YouTube. I'm fine. To me, it's just a side hustle. No, I don't want to be rich and famous. No, I want to fly under the radar. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut this short because I'm tired, guys. We've been on for 3 hours.
Yeah, maybe we can try to uncover some of your old pictures later because I'm not finding anything about Jeremiah Humans in the Navy or in the Air Force. I mean, I apologize. I misspoke.
Well, I gotta let you go. Bye bye. 3 hours. I'm tired. I'm tired.
That's a long stream.
That's a lot. Good night, man.
Yeah, we might continue to.
Hey, thank you both for your service.